Hey, I'm Chef Rich, a classically trained chef, author, and award-winning culinary educator. With over 2 decades of experience, I've discovered that food is more than just food. It's our greatest medicine. But here's the truth. There is no quick fixes, magic pills, superfoods, or diets that work. Welcome to a different kind of cooking show. Our mission? To inspire, educate, and prove that getting healthy doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. I'll share tips on saving you money at the grocery store, saving you time in the kitchen, and creating meals that everyone will eat. I'll expose the lies about food, reduce the stress about what's for dinner, and remove the struggle of getting healthy. If you give me a chance, I promise, we'll always make it fun, easy, and delicious. Now let's get cooking. Hey, I'm Chef Rich, and welcome to One Plate Kitchen. Today we have an amazing dish for you. We're going to be doing a spicy tilapia with a vegetable orzo pasta. So it's loaded with vegetables and it has a little bit of spice from that fish. One of the first things we want to do is get this pasta started. Now, if you didn't like orzo, and if you didn't even know what it looks like a little rice. But if you weren't a big fan of that, that's fine. You don't have to use it. You can use your favorite pasta, whichever one. If you want to use penne, if you want to use like a linguine or even a spaghetti, you can do anything you want. That's totally up to you. So the first thing we got to do is get this pasta going. Now we have our water going in the back. And one of the things when we cook pasta is we want to make sure the water is salted. Now I'm going to put about a tablespoon of salt in there. And it's going to look like a lot. But I promise you, it doesn't mean that your pasta is going to be salty. It just means that it'll take on that flavor. If you add no salt into water at all, what will happen is your pasta won't have any flavor. And it'll actually make your whole entire dish less flavorful. So we want to make sure we add some salt to it. And here I'm adding my delicious herb salt. So we got that. Now, a lot of people will start to put oil in the water. I can tell you right now, do not do it. We just want to have our water salted and boiling. That's it. So I see it's salted and boiling. I'm going to start adding my pasta to it. Now I'm just going to put it in there. Once I get it in there, I just want to give it one stir. I just don't want it to stick to the bottom. So I'm going to give it one stir. Now the big thing when you make pasta is you want to make sure it's timed. A lot of people, once they add it in there, they don't go by the time, so either it's overcooked or it's undercooked. All right, I'm a huge person on timers. So I got my little timer here. I'm going to set this for about 12 minutes. And then we're going to let that go. While that's working, I'm going to start taking care of this fish. And we have some beautiful tilapia here. Now tilapia has a thick part and a thin part. One of the things that I don't want to do, and I want to make sure you don't do this, is cook them all at the same time. So I'm going to show you how to cut this, where we cook just the thick pieces together, and then we cook the thin pieces together. So I'm going to take this tilapia out first. So it has, and you can see it has a thick part, and then it has a thin part. What we're going to do is just take our knife and just cut it right down the middle. Now if I've separated our thick part from the thin part, I'm going to do the same thing to this one over here. I'm going to cut that down right down the middle. So now I have 2 thinner pieces and 2 thicker pieces, and this is what I'm looking for. I just want it to be like that. You want to just run your hand around it just to make sure. Most of the time when you buy, there'll be no bones in there, but you just want to make sure. Now I'm going to get my pan on because I want to make sure I have a nice hot pan. Then I'm going to start to season this. So again, I have my herb salt that I'm going to put on there. And if you don't know what my herb salt is, I can just tell you it's delicious. So I'm going to put some of my herb salt in there and just pack it in. Now I'm also going to add some paprika and some chili powder. Now if you didn't want it spicy, don't add the chili powder. Chili powder really isn't that spicy, but it gives it like a smoky flavor. And to enhance that smoky flavor, I'm also going to add some paprika to it. Now you're going to see it's going to give us a beautiful color. So I'm going to flip it over to the other side. You hear a lot of people will say, oh, I only season one side, I don't do both. I like to eat both sides of the fish, so I like to season them both. So I'm going to get some salt on both sides. All right, and then the same process. Paprika, and then a little bit of chili powder. Now again, if you didn't want chili powder, you don't have to put chili powder in there. If you didn't like paprika, you didn't have to put paprika in there too. That's totally up to you. But we're gonna get these over here. Now once it's there, ready to go, I'm gonna let them sit for a minute. What'll happen, if I take these and I put them right into the pan, as soon as I season them up, what could happen is the seasoning will burn. So I want to make sure I just give it maybe a minute to 2 minutes of just letting it sit here and kind of soak into the fish itself. I'm also going to clean up the board and get some of that seasoning that fell off the fish. Just get, because I don't want to waste anything. There's a lot of good flavor here. Now since my pan is nice and hot, I'm going to get a little bit of olive oil in there. And again, we always talk about how much olive oil do you really need in there. You only need about a tablespoon of olive oil. Anything more than that, and you're going to start to pan fry, and it's too much fat in the pan. And you'll see that little bit that we put in there is enough to cover the whole bottom of the pan. So now we're just going to let this get a little bit hotter, and then I'm going to put my fish in there. One of the key things to do to make sure your fish doesn't stick is to make sure your pan is hot. Right, I'm not using a non-stick pan, I'm just using a regular stainless steel pan. So I promise you it will work, but we just want to make sure our pan is nice and hot. So once it's hot, I'm going to add my fish in there, and you can hear that beautiful sizzle. That's a good thing. All right, so I got those in there, and it smells amazing right now. Now we want to make sure we never cross-contaminate. So one of the things I want to do is I'm going to get rid of this cutting board. I'm going to get rid of the knife I have here. I want to wipe down, and then I'm going to wash my hands. Now the reason I want to do this is I just touched raw fish. So I want to make sure I wash my hands really well, and then get another cutting board and another knife so I can start cutting all my vegetables. Now while that's going, I want to check on my pasta. I'm just going to give it a little stir.
Hey, Chef Rich here, and I want to officially introduce you to my one-plate herb salt. Now this is the perfect all-in-one seasoning that I carefully handcrafted to enhance any dish. Now our proprietary herb blend not only provides delicious flavor, but also offers antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties for the health-conscious eater. Now it's also packed with vitamins and minerals, and that green hue comes from the natural chlorophyll found in fresh herbs. To get some for yourself, visit our website.
Looking good. I'm going to start cutting some of my vegetables up. And one of the main things we're using today is onions. All right, now there's red onions and green onions and white onions and yellow onions. All right, the reason we're using red onions is because you can eat these kind of raw. They're less tart and less astringent than some of the other ones, so we can definitely eat this raw. So what we're going to do is just slice this up. So I'm just going to take my knife and just go to the side and just make julienne cuts out of this. All right, so we got this all cut up. I'm going to get this over here. And we're also going to put peppers in here. Now if you know anything about the show, you know we love to diversify our plate. So we want to make sure we use a variety of different colors. The more colors we have in the dish, the more nutritional value we're going to add. So we want to make sure we have a lot of different colors. Now I'm going to check on our fish because it smells great. And I can see, like this is not sticking at all. So we're doing great today. Now you can see that we're really prepared for today. And I'm just going to get this one because it looks like I'm fighting with it, but I'm not. All right, it's coming right up. 1, 2, 3. And we're just going to turn this over and cook the other side. So while this is going, I'm going to start cutting my other peppers. So my peppers. Now I bet you didn't know that a bell pepper, especially a red bell pepper, has 3 times the amount of vitamin C than an orange does, except no sugar. and all good stuff. Now, the only thing I want to get rid of is just a little rib piece in there, so we get rid of that. Now, because I'm cutting, or I'm cooking an orzo, which is small pasta, I just want to make sure I cut these in smaller pieces. So all I did was just cut it in half, and then I can start just slicing down. All right, I want to make sure they're all around the same size as the onion. So that's ready to go. All right, I have my orange. So again, I'm using a bunch of different colors. Remember, the more color we put in there, the more nutritional value we're gonna have. So I make my slice there. And if you don't know how to cut a pepper, I'm gonna show you with our red bell pepper right here. So we're adding a ton of flavor into this dish. Now, we have our red bell pepper. Now, I already watched this one before, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and just cut the top off. We'll put that aside. We're gonna cut the bottom off, and we're just cutting just a little bit. Then I'm gonna put it on its end, and then just slice just down one piece. Then what I'm gonna do is turn it over on the side, and where I just made that cut, what I'm gonna do is start slicing and roll. All right, I slice and I roll, I slice and I roll. And the reason I do this is it allows me just to take out the part that we don't want, which is just the seeds. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Now I'm gonna cut this open. And you can see I still have a little bit of rib left in there. I just wanna take my knife and just slice that out. And the reason I take those ribs out is because it becomes a little bitter. Then all I have to do is take this, just like I did with the other ones, cut it in half, and then I'm gonna start just making my slices. So you see, it's really easy to do this. It doesn't take a lot of time. You don't have to be like a master chef to do this, or like really good with knife skills. You just want to take your time. So we have that one. We're gonna take this one and do the same thing here. And just slice down. All right. So we have this ready. Now we have these little pieces here. I'm not going to throw this out either. I want to use, oh, timer went off. So let's take our pasta. Okay, our pasta looks great. So what I'm going to do is just strain our pasta. So I just want to take it, and I'm just going to strain it. It looks incredible. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it sit there. With pasta, the great thing is I don't want to put any oil in here right now, and I don't want to put water on it. All right, I just want to let it sit. What's happening now is it's steaming, which is good. That's that water that's evaporating out of the dish, which is good. That's what I want. Because now when I introduce a liquid to it, that thirsty pasta will start to absorb all the liquid that's in there. So now we're ready to go with all our vegetables. I'm going to take my fish out because they look like they're done and perfect. So I can just, again, easily just peel these right out. They came out so easily. Look at that, beautiful. So I'm going to leave these here and just let them sit for a minute. And then I'm going to start to add my onions. All right, what I don't want to do is add any more fat to this. It doesn't need any more fat. Like if your pan is really dry, like this one is, what we could do is just add a little bit of chicken stock. And what that chicken stock is gonna do is it'll cool my pan down a little bit, but it'll allow me just to cook my vegetables in here now without really having to add any more fat to it. So, while this is going, why don't you check this out?
Hey, Chef Rich here. I hope you're enjoying the show. I want to talk about onions. You know them as that vegetable that makes you cry. But did you know they're also nutrient dense and historical? In ancient times, they were used medicinally to treat ailments like headaches, heart disease, and mouth sores. Today, we have red, green, or yellow or white onions, and we use them for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even some desserts. Now, onions are high in cortisone, an antioxidant that fights cancer. They have powerful anti-inflammatory properties that can help lower the risk of heart disease and can help lower cholesterol. They help promote insulin production and iron absorption, and they're high in potassium. Now, before we get back to cooking, let me leave you with this. You can get healthy if you focus on today, right now. Forget about the past and don't worry about tomorrow. Let's walk this journey together. Now let's get back to the kitchen.
How was that? I bet you didn't know that about onions. So now let's get back to this. So this has been cooking for a couple minutes now. It's looking great. Again, we're using the red onion because we don't have to really cook it too long. All right, one of the great things about this is, as long as we tenderize it just a little bit, one of the great things about a red onion is we can eat it raw or we can just cook it a little bit. All right, we're just cooking this a little bit. Now I'm going to start to add all my peppers in here. And again, with the peppers, we just want to warm them up pretty much. We don't need to cook these so they get soft and mushy. We want to keep that beautiful, vibrant color that's in there. We're going to add all our peppers to this. We'll get that in there. And you can see it has so much color in here. All right, one of the things I want to do here is just season this up with a little bit of salt, my herb salt. We're just going to mix this in and just let it cook for a minute or two. And you'll see how quick the dish comes together. We're just going to give this a stir. Now while that's going, I'm going to cut one more thing, which is our garlic. There we have our garlic already peeled here. We're just going to do a couple cloves. I like it pretty garlicky, so now what we're going to do with this is we're just going to make slices out of it. So we'll just take it nice and thin. Now when you get closer to your hand, one of the things you could do is just flip it on its edge of there and just do the same thing, just slice down. Or you just keep on flipping it over until we get it all cut up. Alright, so we'll just chop this up real quick. Now another way we could do this is you could just take it and just put your blade on top of it and just give it a smash. And then from here we can kind of just chop this up. Or we'll do the same thing one more time. It just makes it so much easier. We'll just take it, give it a smash, and then chop this up. Now we'll just put it all together and just chop this up. Now one of the things that I definitely want to ask you is a question. I want to know, how long do I cook garlic for? How long do you cook garlic for? I talk to a lot of people and I hear a lot of different, well, you got to cook it for this long and that long and this long. One of the biggest mistakes that happens when I talk to people, and then we talk about cooking and things like that, is they overcook their garlic. Remember, garlic is a very, very delicate ingredient. So we want to make sure when we add it, we just cook it till aroma. So I'm going to add that to it. All right, there's a lot of oils in here that a lot of health and nutrition that I want to make sure I keep. That if I cook it too long, what'll happen is I'll cook that whole nutritional value right out of it. All right, so what we do here is we just cook it just till aroma. Meaning that once you can smell it, it's time to move on to the next step. All right, the next step with this would be our tomatoes. So now I'm going to turn this heat up because I want this liquid to reduce as I add my amazing tomatoes to it. So I add my tomatoes. You can even add some liquid to that. And then we're just going to stir this up. Or you can see this has a ton of color in here. It's got a ton of flavor in there. But I'm just going to reduce down this liquid a little bit. I don't want to reduce it down too much because remember, I'm going to add that pasta to it, and that pasta is really, really thirsty. All right, one of the last things we're going to do is add some fresh greens to it. So I have my pasta, and I'm going to start adding my pasta to it. You can see it's almost starting to stick together, and that's one of the good signs. I don't want it to stick together completely. I just want to make sure it's almost ready to stick together, and then that's when I'll start adding it to my dish. So whatever liquid that's in here, my pasta will start to absorb it. So we want to make sure we get it all in there. So we get that in there. Now I'm going to give this a stir and just let it start absorbing. Alright, so we got that mixed in nicely. I wish you could smell it because it smells incredible. So now we're just going to cut up our herbs. Now the herb that we chose today is dill. And the reason I chose dill is because it works amazing with fish. They really have a relationship together. So I'm just going to take this, and you'll see some chefs that'll waste the stems. I'm not a big person on wasting anything. If I'm paying for it, I want to make sure I utilize all of it. So I'm just going to make my chops up. I'm just going to chop this up. And the smell is intense. So we just chopped it up really roughly. And all I'm going to do is just toss this in there. So now I'm getting nutritional value out of this dill as well. Besides all that beautiful color and aroma, I'm getting that dill. I'm going to add a little bit of stock to this. And then I'm going to add some lemon. All right, last ingredient besides the fish is just the lemon. So I just give this a stir. Now there's two parts of this lemon that I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste the liquid, and I don't want to waste the skin. All right, so all we do with this is we just take our microplane, and we're just going to go around and just get it in there. And I only do it 3 times, so I go 1, 2, 3, and then move 1, 2, 3 to the next, 1, 2, 3 to the next, 1, 2, 3 to the next. I always go in 3s, only because if you go too much, you'll get to the white, and the white part is called the pith. It is very bitter. Now I already squeezed it like this and rolled it, so it allows me to break up all the juice that's in there. And now I'm just going to add some lemon juice to this. Some fresh lemon juice. You want to make sure you don't get any seeds in there. You just want the lemons. I'll get some fresh lemon juice in here. And you can see, I mean, this is definitely enough food for 3 or 4 people here. Now I'm just going to give this a stir around. You can see, I mean, it has a lot of flavor in there, a lot of juice in there, which is good. A lot of liquid. So we almost made like a sauce without getting any canned sauce in here. Now if you wanted to, again, you could add just a little bit more stock to it. And then we're just going to give this a stir, just to make sure it's all incorporated. Now the good thing also about adding lemon to it is we don't have to add too much salt to it. But I don't want to keep on adding salt to it. What that lemon will do is it'll enhance the flavor. So you can see it looks incredible. I have a lot of flavor in here. And now we'll just start plating this up. Now to plate it up, we'll just get a plate. And I want to make sure I get a little bit of everything in there. I want to make sure I get that liquid in there. So we'll have enough for today, but we'll also have enough for tomorrow's lunch for you and your family. So now we're going to get our fish back. What I like to do is I like to crumble the fish up. So I'll break it up And I just like to kind of put it on top, but just break it up a little bit. And what it does, it allows every bite that I take from this, once I mix it in, to get a piece of that fish flavor. So we'll just pack it up like that. There goes my portion. Now let me get your portion. So again, we'll just portion this out nicely. Again, I like to break up the fish. Just again, so every bite, I'll be able to get some fish because it's all broken up. And there we go. At least 2 incredible meals that we still have so much more left over. So there you go. Getting healthy and feeling better doesn't have to be difficult or expensive. I promise. We'll always make it fun, easy, and delicious, and we'll do it one plate at a time. I'll see you next time. That looks so good.
Are you tired of eating the same old boring meals every day? Do you want to learn how to cook delicious and healthy meals that nourish your body and your soul? Then look no further than our One Plate Cooking Club. With our weekly live interactive classes, you can bring the cooking experience right into your own home kitchen. Join me and learn easy to follow tips and techniques that'll transform your cooking skills. Gone are the days of struggling to follow complicated recipes. With me by your side, you'll learn to create mouth-watering dishes that are both nutritious and delicious. And the best part? You can do it all from the comfort of your own home using any mobile device. By joining our One Plate Cooking Club, you'll not only expand your culinary skills, but you'll save money at the grocery store and save time in the kitchen. Imagine being able to whip up a healthy and delicious meal in no time, all while using food as medicine to support your journey to better health. Now, this is an experience that will inspire positive change in your life. So say goodbye to unhealthy fast food and takeout, and hello to homemade meals that'll leave you feeling satisfied and energized. With our club, achieving the healthy results you want has never been easier. So why wait? Join our One Plate Cooking Club today and embark on a culinary journey to health and wellness. Your taste buds and your body will thank you. So go to our website to learn more and to sign up for your favorite class today.